What's going on, boys? I'm in Advantage, and today we're going to do a live reaction to the World of CHEL NHL 22 premiere. So let's go ahead and get right into it.
Welcome everyone to our community-focused series, NHL in Depth. My name is Clappy, and I'm the NHL 22 Community Manager. The goal of this series is to provide you with a full look at each of your favorite modes and areas of the game,
Home screen looks sweet.
extensively through numerous areas of the game, and be joined by various members of our development team to best explain what's new. We've collected your feedback throughout the year, and it was a major factor in our thinking and design for NHL 22, so I'd like to thank you for your continued support and feedback. Please keep it coming. Here's when you can...
Man, I really wish that we got these reveals earlier, especially with HUT, October 6th. That's 6 days before the game comes out.
Stay best informed on NHL 22. We will also have an update around the closed technical test, so stay tuned to hear more about that. With all that said, welcome to NHL 22 In Depth for the World of CHEL.
Home screen looks awesome.
By Ariel, who is our World of CHEL associate producer.
Hello, Clappy. Yes, I'm the World of CHEL associate producer, and I have been for the last 8 years.
Thanks for taking the time to sit down and do this. Let's start by talking about the revamped World of CHEL hub, because there's a lot to unpack with this. Visually, it looks quite different. What was the inspiration for this look?
Well, what World of CHEL means to us is that it's our own world of hockey. It's a place where hockey is first, when people engage and love their sport. And what we wanted to do this year was to bring that feeling, that festive feeling, into an actual place, an event that happens in the World of CHEL. So what we're doing this year is we brought that environment that we had in previous year, and we landed in an actual place that represent all these feelings and ideas that we have for World of CHEL. And we think it's a wonderful tool to immerse players. This environment will reflect on the state of the season, what's going on at the World of CHEL at that given moment. And it also reflects your progression with your club, since when you are participating in eashl.
That's kind of cool. I like that. A little different. Not as bland as it is currently. So
As a brand, you get that environment to reflect that growth as well.
Let's talk screen flow. The previous UI caused you have to do a lot of button clicking to get to your destination. Can you speak to the changes to the overall mode navigation and how now it's a lot easier?
Yeah, sure. One of our pillars this year was non-linear navigation of the screens. So World of CHEL is a massive mode. It's full of features, but those features require screens, right? The way we were setting that up in previous years, it was a little bit cumbersome, how you would navigate from one mode to the other, or how would you get your friends to join you. So the pillar this year was...
okay, I get it. They took some stuff out, made it a little easier. That was needed. It's been needed for a while.
Immediately, but you can also tab away and see.
Positive change, but nothing crazy.
So let's say you're looking at your club options and you want to see your stats. You can very quickly jump to that part of the flow and see all the information that you care about. This is also supported during the dressing room. So you pick a mode, you enter the dressing room, and as you're waiting for your friends, you decide to customize or to change your loadouts, or even check your rewards and opening them. And that without...
That's good. Yeah, that was needed.
Sure, for us in terms of how we really open up the whole mode, and we no longer lock it into...
Definitely better.
Back and forth.
Can you talk about some of the new functionality when it comes up to partying with your friends, and how now you won't have to back out of the dressing room just to re-enter another one when switching modes?
Sure.
Joe NHL, baby.
Feature. Now we support what we call the social widget. And the social widget allows you to invite all your friends without even having to choose a mode to play in. They will join your session, and you can still use all the screens and flows in World of CHEL. But once all your friends have joined you, you can choose a mode, and the friends will come with you into the dressing room. So They
Some
no longer have to
flow
wait
operational
to choose
stuff,
a
but
dressing
nothing
room,
gameplay wise.
scrolling device, showing the
It's
settings
okay.
to be with you.
This is all
You can
needed.
get them
So
to show your experience as soon as you boot up World of CHEL. And it's not just that. We also added functionality. So once you have your team set up in a mode and you want to change, let's say you start playing a threes eliminator game as you're waiting for the rest of your team. Then the rest of your team join in and you can migrate your whole party to a different mode. So let's say your goalie joins, now you can move to 3v3. And that's completely seamless. No one has to leave the party, no one has to back out. You press a button, you choose a mode, and everybody goes with you.
That sounds like a huge improvement. And, not having to back out of the dressing room and just re-enter to play a specific mode, now just being able to navigate through one user is a huge benefit to everyone that I think we'll all appreciate. So once I'm in someone's party, do I now have the freedom to navigate to other areas while remaining in the group?
For sure. The entire world of
I can see why this is 27 minutes long. It's a lot of operational stuff, but so be it.
You can change your loadouts, check your rewards, or check your stats. We no longer limit what you can do in World of CHEL once you are in a dressing room.
Let's move to the main edition this year, and the thing I'm most excited to talk about. Our
Here we go.
fans have been asking for an increased level of customization when it comes to their skater and just more overall freedom with their attributes and how they play on the ice. I'm happy to report that your voice has been heard loud and clear and was the main inspiration for this feature coming to life. Now, Ariel, can you give the fans a full run through of the revamped loadout system?
Let me start with a shout out to James Capaduca, who is our lead game designer for World of CHEL. He's a huge advocate for giving players the freedom to be creative. So he came up with the system that will allow them to really express themselves on the ice. All the classes that are
Interesting. So you unlock more loadouts
this time they have an edge
as levels go up too.
the X Factor
Interesting.
zone abilities. The new X Factor zone abilities will have a huge impact on how the class plays on the ice. And as players level up, they will have up to 5 different abilities to choose from. And we're talking about abilities
Okay.
that
So you can
really
change 5.
drive the fantasy
It's
of
good.
the class they are playing. For example, the sniper can have 1T and be exceptional in power and accuracy when doing one-timers. That completely changes the way you strategize on the ice and what you bring to the club and the team you're playing with.
So you're going to have to experiment with each class to get a feel of how each X factor will affect your play on the ice.
That's exactly what we want. We want our players to try other classes and try their zone abilities to see if they fall in love with them. Because now that playmaker can be further customized.
That's good. Kind of reminds me of Call of Duty where you unlock it at other different levels too. Not that we haven't done this before, but it has more of like a Call of Duty customization feel to it, which is kind of nice. That's probably one of the things why Call of Duty is so popular, because you can make it exactly how you want. And this is how NHL should have been for a long time.
Abilities and what those are bringing to the table.
Superstar abilities are also very impactful on the ice, but a little less so than zone abilities. The cool thing about superstar abilities is that they are not limited by class. We have lots of superstar abilities for our players to choose. What's cool about superstar abilities?
Okay, so these are very similar to what we were used to.
Edge on the ice, but they can be used by all classes. So they are not limited by your class. So let's say you want a defensive defenseman, but you want to have a shooting edge. You can use superstar abilities to achieve that. This completely opens up the customization for the classes, because now
It's just like the traits we had before.
what you want your character to do on the ice and to excel in.
Okay, a little bit of difference.
By leveling up. But in order to equip them, you have to use the attribute customization system and meet a rating criteria.
Can you tell us more about that attribute customization system? That's one of the largest requests we get every year, is the ability to customize attributes to your liking after you select your initial class.
Sure, this is
Oh,
one of the most
interesting.
critical systems in our new loadout feature. This system will give players the freedom to tune and modify their ratings while keeping the game balanced on the ice. And that was a critical design pillar for us. We want to get our players to be expressive, we want them to be creative, but we also want to keep the game balanced And we also want to keep the classes to still feel meaningful.
So I guess rather than changing my size, like being shorter and less weight going up with my speed, for example, I could do this now just directly. So
have technique, power, playstyle, tenacity, and tactics. And this system will allow players to move up to 5 points from one rating to another. Each rating has a specific cost assigned to them. So let's say a player wants to increase body checking, which is a really useful skill on the ice. They might have to sacrifice other ratings, and the other ratings they sacrifice might not have the same amount of points associated to them. So for example, offensive awareness would require sacrificing 3 points in order to accommodate 2 points in body checking. This is done to keep the balance in the game, and also to provide players with smart and fun ways to customize their character. If all the amazing ratings in our game are very easy to increase, then everybody would do that, and we would lose all the different combinations possible. Now players will actually have to make conscious decisions of how they want to play on the ice. We want our players to really understand their decisions. So what we added this year is a description of what the rating does.
that's good. I'm more clear on what they do. I think a lot of us already understand that, which is good. But it's always good to have some more clarity on it.
The ice.
This is really good stuff and exactly what players have been asking for. What if I want to increase a specific attribute more than just +5? Because you know everyone's going to immediately see how high they can get their speed. So is there a way to, add on to that +5 that you can edit in your attributes alone?
Players can still modify their more physical attributes by changing their height and weight. But on top of that, we added boosts. Boosts are flat increases to a rating of the player liking. There are no negative effects tied to them, but players will have to meet a rating threshold. For example, slapshot timing gives you slapshot accuracy, but requires your hand-eye to be over 80. This allows the boost to give that extra edge to the character, while at the same time remain balanced in the overall system. All zone abilities, superstar abilities, and boosts are locked through our level progression system. So as you play, you level up and you are going to get more and more things to play with. But we're also going to be releasing some special superstar abilities and boosts throughout the seasons.
So kind of similar to the traits that we have now, where they come out with new ones. It's going to be similar to superstar abilities and boosts. So that's good.
Level progression has been a big ask from people, so I'm glad that's getting implemented, and it's going to be interesting to see how these new superstar abilities and boosts potentially change up the meta season to season when they're added.
Yeah, players will see their playstyle evolve as they level up. And on top of that, we will be dropping more superstar abilities and boosts during the season. So each season will have the opportunity for them to shake up their strategies and come up with a new meta.
So it's safe to say that players will have more control over their skater than ever before.
This was the number one thing in our minds. We want to give tools to our players to really customize how they play on the ice. Because we want World of CHEL to be that inviting place in which players can be themselves. And that's expressing themselves through customization, but that's also how they play on the ice, how they get known for their achievements on the ice. And how can you feel proud about that when you don't feel yourself? So we think that these systems are going to allow them to really break the classes into something that feels unique and personal to them. I think it's important to mention that World of CHEL is still the same very inviting mode that it was in the past. You can compete on the ice even being level 1 because we have all the systems available to our players, but we remain balanced on the ice. So as a level 1, you can face a level 50 and you will have the same chances of winning than them because the system is always balanced for everybody to have a great experience.
Thanks for that, guys. It'll be exciting to see what kind of builds everyone comes up with once they get their hands on the game. Shifting back to our conversation, we've talked about the revamped UI and the party system making playing with your friends and just overall mode navigation a whole lot easier. We went over the new reimagined loadouts and the increased customization players now have for their skater. What other changes have you made across the mode?
Sure, Clappy. We are adjusting a few things and adding a few small features that I think are going to increase the quality of life of our players. We heard feedback over the season finals being too long, so we are shortening that window. We also changed the color of the ice since we received feedback that for some players it was kind of hard to see the puck on the ice. We are adding a new matchmaking setting for clubs to control the team size difference. Clubs will now be able to match the exact amount of players they have on their lobby at the time, or up to a 4 players difference. This is important because we want to give our clubs the freedom to control the type of game they might get once they go into matchmaking. And for all the players that participate in private leagues, we added a small quality of life feature, which is the possibility of restricting the skipping of the cutscenes. And this is great for streaming games, right? Our players are very excited as they are playing the game and they want to skip the replays, but that makes for a poor experience when watching.
I wish I could replay skip in everything else.
There you have it.
That'd be
Everything
nice.
New in the world of CHEL. I want to take this moment to also announce that the NHL 22 closed technical test will go live tomorrow.
Yep.
On August
There it
7th,
is.
and it will be centered around the world of
Tomorrow.
CHEL. So you'll have the opportunity to jump in and play as soon as tomorrow if you registered. But even if you missed registration, stay tuned to our social channels as we will be giving out some codes throughout the week. Thanks again to Ariel and the entire team for everything they implemented.
So it looks like we have the gameplay trailer coming up here in a little bit. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I mean, for me, personally, my biggest takeaways are there's definitely some more customization, which is obviously always a plus. You can't go wrong with more customization. I do like that. Honestly, the replay skipping for me, quite frankly, I wish that was in everything. So yeah, that would be my biggest recent takeaway from that. But overall, I would say that there's a lot of customization. We don't really know. We didn't really get to see much gameplay. Obviously, that's going to come next in the gameplay trailer. Wish we would at least saw a little bit today. But overall, the menus, the skipping, which is more or less operational, just kind of feel an efficiency of the game. That's good, and that was a much needed improvement. And then more customization. So overall, a lot of it looks somewhat similar, but there are some positive changes. I don't really see anything negative here that's a decrease from last year. And last year, EA SHL was pretty good. So anywho, until we see gameplay, we're gonna have to wait to determine what that looks like. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's video. And make sure, if you haven't already, to enter in the contest for our X Factor giveaway. We're giving away 2 copies of NHL 22 X Factor Edition for both you and your friend. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel. Make sure you comment on one of our other socials and comment your social down in that same video and you're entered. That's it. It's piece of cake. And there's only about less than 300 people right now. So you have almost a 1 in 300 chance of winning a copy of NHL 22, not just for yourself, but also for your friends. So best of luck to you. And thank you guys for sticking around. I'm Man Advantage, and we'll see you next time.